Well, I think so, Luke. I think obviously if you're not playing, that's time that it's tough to simulate games. We tried, we had inter squads, but just really tough. So if it takes us a game to kind of settle in and go, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. Obviously, this year has kind of been like that. So you just worry about the guys and how sharp they are initially. Not having those consistent at bats through the week, and we've experienced that with midweek games, no midweek games. So. And then guys getting to the mound and being sharp. So we'll see. I don't know. We're sure not going to use it as an excuse. We got to get out and play and try to be the better team come Friday.
Well, when you think of Missouri State, historically it's always been a really tough place to play. About them, I know they're coming off a really tough weekend, but they also came off a pause, so it was their first weekend back. And kind of look at it, we caught DBU a week after they had their pause and then kind of got it going.
Well, I think when you think of Missouri State, you think of really good teams, really tough teams, really well-coached teams. Coming off their last weekend, obviously we're going to get the bear that's been poked, which we understand that's Keith's team, right? And so they've been a standard for our league. They've been a team that's been to Omaha. They've been a team that's had a lot of success in the NCAA tournament. So we know what's ahead of us. You got to go into their park and play well. They're awfully hard to beat there, and we've got to play much better than we did a couple weekends ago in Dallas.
What do you respect most just about their program and Keith's teams and what they've really always embodied regardless of the year and regardless of maybe the big bat that they seem to typically have in their lineup?
They just always seem to be a big physical team that and guys on the mound that just attack you. Paul Evans has done a great job there. He's been with Keith a long time, and their guys are tough. Their guys come at you, and so they're going to be very aggressive. We understand that, and we've got to find a way that their guys can't settle in on the mound, and we do enough, from our pitching standpoint to keep their bats at bay.
You knew there were holes still, even at the beginning when you guys got off to a good start in the league. When you were able to go back and kind of digest the DBU series, what were some of the biggest takeaways just from your team's standpoint?
Well, it's sometimes stats can be misleading, right? And you look at stats, you look at in-game at bats, and guys putting together an at bat, having an approach, putting together a good at bat, and hopefully finding a way to put at bat after at bat after at bat after at bat together. And it's when you run all those ABs together that you have a good offense. And early in the year, that just bothered me. I know we were maybe jumping a fastball early and having success, but obviously as the scouting report goes around, there are going to be some adjustments made, and at some point we've got to do a better job of having quality at bats. And to me, a quality at bat is just staying in the zone, not chasing, not getting overly aggressive and swinging at something early that a pitcher wants you to swing at. It's really working the count to your favor and getting a pitch that you can get a good swing on.
We talked about Aaron's really good weekend against Valpo, but I think someone that may be a little bit under the radar is a guy like Allison Hanna, who's been much more mature at the plate. You think of being able to draw 5 walks. I think he's only struck out once in the league. I think he had an 0-2 count at DBU, worked himself to earn a walk. Just something early on in his career maybe he really struggled with. Where's his maturation process here and what you've been impressed recently and why you've been able to pencil him in the lineup more?
Well, again, it's that consistency, right? I mean, I think everyone feels like this game is about the big flare. You see a guy hit one over the scoreboard out there, you see a guy ball come off the bat 100 miles an hour, exit velo, or you see a guy throwing 96 on the mound. And all that is great. That sometimes gives you more room for error. But the bottom line, this is a game of consistency. You got to come every day. You got to be able to handle a 3-pitch mix at the plate. You got to be able to make sure you're not trying to pull that changeup running down away from you. And I think it's when a player just does what he knows he has to do in that moment. A young player is probably on that 1-2 changeup moving down the way, going to try to pull that thing off the right field foul pole, right? Instead of just saying, hey, I got to stay down here with it and flip this thing into left center. So I think it's really a player getting to a point that he understands what he can't do at the plate with certain pitches, and then all of a sudden you're much more effective with the pitches that you do get and you do try to put in play and handle up there.
Well, you mentioned it, just one to continue, I'm sure, success on the road, especially after a week off, and I'm sure it's probably just some of your main messages to your guys as you hit the road tonight.
Well, I told our team yesterday, when we met, I know it's finals week. I know we got a lot going on. I know we got to get over there. So you got a chance to go down as one of the toughest teams in the history of Indiana State. You're going to get to play 8 home games. to have a good season playing 8 home games, I know you're a tough group, right? And you've played well, and you have to play well on the road to win at this level. And I think that's the reality of this is, hey, at this point, most of the hay in terms of schedule's in the barn. We've got to go out, and we understand from here on out. And if you want to be successful in college baseball anyway, you have to go beat somebody that's a quality opponent in an NCAA regional on their home field. Just the way the college game is set up, so you can't worry about home and away.